When's the last time someone did a random act of kindness to you or you did one to someone else? So there was one that happened to me just recently. My son and I were in Japan, Hakuba, for a ski trip, and I lost my son and my phone on the slopes. I know, right? And I actually had a few people help us out that day, so a few random acts of kindness, so double whammy. So the story is my son and I are supposed to meet at the cafe at 3:30 and head down the slopes together. So we didn't agree on which cafe. There were a few cafes, but I just assumed it was the same cafe that we met for lunch. So I accidentally took a wrong turn and I had to miss that cafe and I had to come back up again, the gondola. So I met him at the top of the gondola at the cafe that we met for lunch. And I messaged him on WhatsApp and said, I'm running a little bit late. I'll probably be there about 10 minutes late. But he only could use WhatsApp if he had Wi-Fi. So I went to the cafe and around 3:40 and he was not there. And I was like panicking and looked all over for him. And then I asked the lady who worked there, she could kind of call him, Dylan, hey, are you here? And she said, well, there's another cafe. Are you sure it's not that cafe? And I was like, I don't think so, because this is the one we met at, but it could have been that cafe. And of course she said, well, that cafe is closed. I can't call him. I was like, I gotta get to the other cafe. So that cafe was up another chair. I had to go up another lift to go to the other cafe. So I went to go to the other lift and it was closed. They closed at 3:40. It's like 3:45. And I was like panicking. I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, okay, maybe he's gone down to where the shuttle's gonna pick us up to take us home at 4:20. That's the last shuttle of the day. So I was like racing down the mountain and I ended up on the mogul section. And because some of the trails were closed down because it was kind of the finishing up for the night. And I'm not good at moguls. I'm just not used to them, right? So I was like, of course I fell a few times on the moguls racing down. And I made it down. I got down. And when I went to check my phone, it wasn't in my pocket. And my zipper was unzipped. I was like, oh no. I must have just put my phone in my pocket and didn't zip it up because I was like panicked and I was in a hurry. And my phone fell out on a slope somewhere. And I was like, oh great, I'm never getting my phone back. So I'm like, okay, I've lost my phone. I've lost my son. So I was like, So I'm like, well, maybe he's at the shuttle place. So I managed to find someone who helps me get to the shuttle place. So one random act of kindness there. And then he's not there. He's not at the shuttle place. And I was freaking out. So then I went to a ski hut and I asked the guys in there for help. And they're like, okay, so they call out, on the mountain, ski patrol looking for this 15-year-old kid from Australia. And I'm so anxious and panicked and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm pacing around and the guy's like, just try to, sit down and be calm. We'll find him. Don't worry. There's people out here that are going to search the entire mountains. Okay. So what seemed like probably hours later, it's probably only 20 minutes later, they got a call from someone at the gondola area and my son was with them. I was like, okay. And they're like, okay, can you come here and get him? So what happened is my son was at the other cafe, the one I couldn't get to, waited until 4:00 for me. And then he was like, okay, I have to come down the mountain. He didn't check his WhatsApp. Well, he didn't have Wi-Fi. And he's going down the slopes and he flagged down a couple to help him get down the slopes because he couldn't remember how to get down. It's an Australian couple. So they're really lovely. Random act of kindness. They helped him down the slopes and they contacted someone who worked couple one and then they contacted us. So that was lovely. They had him. That was okay. And then we managed to... couldn't get a taxi. It's really hard to find a taxi and went to their hotel and we were able to use the phone to get a taxi. But meanwhile, the guy who worked at the ski hut, he was with us the whole time. He carried my snowboard over to the gondola. He just stayed with us the whole time to make sure we were okay. Made sure that we could get to he's like, do you have cash for the cab? I was like, I don't, but I've got a physical card at home that at the hotel I can use. So that was all good. And it was just lovely that they helped us. And in the meantime, the couple who helped my son, they actually called my phone because they thought via WhatsApp because they thought that I still had my phone, and somebody answered. So somebody had my phone, found my phone. And the couple was like, oh, we have your son. And they're like, oh, I don't have a son. Anyways, that was a bit weird. But somebody found my phone and had it and said that, well, we're going to drop your phone off at this hotel, at the Merlin Hotel, and pick it up tonight. So that was amazing. Another random act of kindness. So we went back to the hotel. We got a cab back, got to the hotel, paid the cab driver. And then I was like, okay, I need to go back out again and get my phone at this hotel. Well, the owner of our little guest house was like, I can't get a cab. There's nobody answering. There's no cabs. I was like, oh no, how am I going to get my phone? So I just like asked someone who's staying at the guest house. I'm like, do you have a car? I'll pay you. Can you drive me to this hotel to get my phone? He was like, yeah, that's fine. I've got a car and don't worry, you don't have to pay me. So another random act of kindness. So it was amazing. So we're going out to get my phone. This guy's driving us to get my phone. And what happened is we pulled into the wrong area. Google Maps led us in the wrong direction somewhere else. The car got stuck in the snow. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is a nightmare. So then we're trying to push the car, and my son and we're not heavy enough. We couldn't push the car. So then there's a hotel across the street. So I ran over to the hotel and I asked the girl at the hotel, is there somebody here that can help us push the car? It's like stuck in the snow. She's like, well, I can't because I'm the only one working at the front desk, but I can go ask somebody, in the kitchen or somebody in the dining room if they can help. So then this guy comes out. I think he's working in the dining room because he was all dressed up. He brings out a shovel, and he comes out and helps us like get the car out of the snow. It was amazing. So another random act of kindness. So he's like shoveling out the snow, getting out of the way, helping us push the car. So we got out. And then finally we like made it to the hotel where my phone was. In the meantime, again, we kind of got stuck again, and some people in the car were telling us like how to like get out, telling the guy how to drive really quickly to get off of this hurdle. Anyways, we got my phone, drove back. It was all good at the end of the day, and it was just amazing like having all these people help out. And it was just, I mean, yes, I was upset and stressed. That was like, oh my God, thinking the worst, like, oh, it's so cold, and what if he's stuck up there in the snow? But I was pretty much, they were reassuring me, don't worry, I'm sure it happens all the time. We're going to find your son. So that was good. But yeah, my phone, I thought that was lost. I'm like, no way, it's going to be buried in the snow and it's going to find it. So it was a crazy, very stressful day, but it just made me realize how amazing humanity is. And these random acts of kindness, like, so grateful. And, I practice my gratitude practices. I wasn't doing as much when I was in Japan. Maybe this was a reminder that, I need to get back onto my gratitude practices. And it doesn't matter, like these were big, grandiose things, but even the small things count. Even the guy who, helped me get to the shuttle area, he barely spoke any English, and my Japanese is like, yeah. Anyways, it was great. I mean, it was just amazing, which, when these things happen, what these people did, I was like, wow, that was awesome. Like they helped out, and they didn't have to, they don't know me, they don't know my son, but, it just really, yeah, it's just so touching. And I think when we can be grateful for just everything, big or small, it just is such a game changer in these random acts of kindness. Like, if you see someone in trouble or whatever, help them out, like, because it could totally change the trajectory in their day. I mean, it made such a difference in that day. And, I left feeling like a big sigh of relief and feeling like, wow, yeah, okay, I'm blessed, I'm loved, because, it could have been way worse. So, yes, random act of kindness, guys. So, stay grateful, stay positive. Those positive vibes help, and it can really change your trajectory and just the way we look on life, outlook on life. So with that, have a great weekend, and I'll check in with you later. Thanks. Bye.